Hey, what's up, nerds, geeks, and those few people around the world that actually do indeed have a life? My name is Anaris, and I'm here today with a best of 3 Starcraft 2 broadcast. Starting off on the map, the Shattered Temple between Spanishiwa, spawning as the Zerg in the 12 o'clock position, against his Protoss opponent, JF, down in the 6 o'clock position, here on Shattered Temple. We're going to be watching this best of 3 quarterfinals series from the May SK Gaming Champions Trophy Tournament. This is a tournament grand prize $250, and also both of the grand finals will receive a killer 2100 Gaming Network card. So pretty cool stuff there. Let's go over a little bit of player background, and then we will transition into the actual game that we're watching here. Iefnaij, I realize I just probably butchered that. His name is actually his real name, kind of spelled backwards. Real name is Jianfei Wang. He is a 20-year-old Protoss player from Canada, also known as Canadia. His most notable accomplishment, actually, I think his first notable accomplishment, was that he won the first TSL tournament in 2008. Spoiler alert, it was not StarCraft 2, it was Brood War. So pretty awesome stuff. This guy has definitely been around for some time. Up here, Spanishiwa. Compared to his opponent, he is a newcomer to the StarCraft professional scene. His real name is Michael. He is a 17-year-old Zerg player from the good old USA. He is the person who has created a lot of discussion about his coined Ice Fisher build, involving a lot of heavy economy play, going for that early expansion, which we see. Sure enough, got it going right there at around 15 supply. It's sticking with drones and queens, got some spine crawlers, and then transitioning into a very solid late game. So I'm looking forward to a good match here. Now, like I said before, this is the quarterfinals, and down here, JF has already 2-0'd his opponent Shu in the round of 16, and up here, Spanishiwa took out Optic Zero, both players actually 2-0'ing their respective opponents. So definitely some very talented players coming to this North American tournament. And let's see, do I have any actual cool announcements? If you guys haven't already checked it out, Husky and I are doing dual commentary as well. We play different games like Minecraft, Diablo 2, probably some StarCraft here in the near future as well. So if you want to go check it out, you could actually subscribe to Husky's second channel. That's where a lot of the videos are. But of course, I'm guessing most of you already subscribed to his first channel, and at least know about the Minecraft videos, so good on you. In other news, 60,000 subscribers, squee. Yes, indeed, folks, I'm super excited about that. And, ooh, looks like JF going for that double gas there. What is he going to be doing? Might have a tech play, I don't know. We'll keep an eye on him. We do have cross positions. This is a map that forces that spawning type, so yeah. Anyways, back to the topic of awesomeness. I'm so happy to have finally hit that milestone. In the coming days, probably shortly after I get paid, I'm going to be looking to do some kind of hardware giveaway as just like a thank you, or whatever you want to call it, for you guys for sticking with us so long here, you know, while I'm finishing up college and just enjoying StarCraft 2. So definitely want to give you guys a show of appreciation for that. The thing is, though, in order to participate, you do have to be a subscriber. That's kind of my way of making sure that we're going to stick to the people that, you know, have kind of been with us through this whole debacle, or whatever it is. Debacle, that's a negative word. I'm gonna call it debacle. We'll call it a Century Fest 2011. So whoa, nice little Spanishiwa attack there, trying to come in here with the Zealot, blocking off the ramp. Very nice performance there. Got a couple centuries, so not gonna be able to bust in there, I do not think. You see, actually, he is currently over his supply by 1. That's actually something we see him do in a lot of games. Not surprised at all by that. We can actually expect to see him probably throw down a spine crawler or two in just a minute here. Yeah, you scared, bro? You scared? Yeah, Spanishiwa, he's handling like a champ. He knows what's up. He knows the score. So good stuff. Anyways, I do want to thank you guys again for subscribing and supporting me while we grow this channel and an attempt at world domination. I mean, what? Where's the restart button? Oh, well, you know what? Forget it. We're here on the Shattered Temple. We might as well continue this epic game. So, yes, thank you guys from the bottom of my heart, my StarCraft 2E heart. You guys are the best. As far as what I'm probably giving away, I don't know. I'm thinking like a video card, something like that. See if I can go out and get a good one. And yeah, I think it'll be a good thing to give away there. Now, of course, Spanishiwa transitioning into that part where he has got all 4 geysers. Probably expect some drones transferring over to those in just a minute. Heading up to Tier 2. Maybe we'll see some Infestor play. I don't know. It's pretty much... the nice thing about this build is you can pretty much go into darn near anything, and regardless of how it actually is match-specific, you still are in a great position economy-wise, and you can pretty much just go into whatever. So, yeah, definitely love that. Now... we do have a couple Zerglings getting ready to come down here, but look at the sentries, man. There's no way this is actually do anything other than scouting. But important as scouting may be, you did find actually right here that critical information. Nexus going down, gateway, nice little pylon wall, plenty of sentries. So let's see, we've got 2 additional gateways going down up here in the top. So this is actually going to be a lot of gateways that he is going to have very ready very soon, folks. So 4 gateways, I believe, right now are actually ready to start popping out the units, and the expansion is complete. So we might expect to see a little bit more of a build-up and then maybe a push from both players going around the... whoa, what was that just going down right here? Looks like a proxy pylon just outside of Spanishiwa's base. As we see, JF is heading out of his base right now with all of those sentries. That is a very sentry-heavy force. Tons of force fields. You can see a lot of those actually have a good bit of energy. So he is going to be able to place plenty of force shields, guardian shields if he wants to, if there's any ranged units that he's worried about. But Spanishiwa, we can actually just look at the army size right now, 69 to 67. As the Protoss player starts to come up here, this time he does have a couple more Stalkers. Nice force field blocking all of those Zerglings. That is not what Spanishiwa wants to have happen right now. Even the Queen's stuck up there. Another one stuck behind the force fields. Way too long of a run to come around. And you see that now Protoss is actually falling back, trying to bait the Queens out, get a little bit of extra damage on them without the damage of the Spine Crawlers hitting on it. But you see he's still keeping this force field right here. And now he's bringing in Zealots and Stalkers from the flank to come in from behind. And the Spine Crawlers are not going to be enough damage. Look at that. The Zerglings are still running around there. Completely useless, folks. There's nothing Spanishiwa can do right now to stop this attack from continuing at the natural expansion. Down to 1 Queen here, down at the bottom of the ramp, and it looks like it's going to be going down just a second. The Spine Crawler does go down as well. So very close. I think that JF here is going to be able to pull this game number 1 off in his favor. Oh man, what an exciting push. Well, I'll tell you what, this is definitely one of the weaknesses of the Ice Fisher build. So, props to the good old Protoss player here for knowing exactly how to get that. Looks like the force field went down and allowed a bunch of those Zerglings through. But at this point, it does not matter, because there's the GG from Spanishiwa. Taking a loss here in the quarterfinals for the SK Champions Trophy. 0-1 against the Protoss. Like I said, good timing. Perfect. All right, let's go into game number 2 and see what happens next. Hey everybody, thanks for turning into another StarCraft 2 broadcast. My name is Zanaris, and today we're here watching the second game in the best of 3 match series between Vile Spanishiwa spawning down in the bottom left position against his Protoss opponent JF in the top right. The map is going to be Shakura's Plateau, which is actually one of the modified versions of this map. Now, if you've seen the recent dual cast, by the way, with Squiggles and myself, he does touch base on why the supply depot is here, basically to prevent wall-offs and isolating expansions in the early game, something that Protoss can do, in particular effect against a Zerg player whose hatchery down here won't quite be able to spot the pylons and cannons that are blocking off the ramp. So just a little bit of information about that. Also, this map is very good for players that do like to take that fast expansion. So I would not be surprised if we did see Spanishiwa go indeed and try to push that Ice Fisher build that he has made so popular in recent times. This is, as I mentioned in the first video, from the SK Gaming Champions Trophy quarterfinals. So these guys are actually, Spanishiwa is down 1-0 against old JF up there. It's JF or FJ, I swear. Okay, JF. I don't know why that name just thoroughly confuses me. But I'm looking forward to a fun match. Like I said, we got cross positions, so plenty of space for these guys to expand, open up, do their thing, and look at this. Protoss already bringing the probe out here, checking out what's going on with the expansion. We see that Spanishiwa, this is actually something I've seen in a number of his games. Whenever that expansion's blocked, he just goes right ahead, drops down that spawning pool. He's got the extractor, and we'll probably be getting Ling Speed, maybe Roaches, maybe some Banelings. I don't know. We'll just have to keep an eye and see exactly what he does, though. As we see the Protoss player actually trying to bug Spanishiwa a little bit. Get it? Because he's a Zerg player? Zing! Yeah, I just ripped that one, and I know that you guys hate me for it, but that's okay. Because JF up here, Looking pretty good. He's got 1 gas. All right, looking all snazzy. Probably get a cybernetics core wall off in just a second or two. And yeah, so I'm not exactly sure who or how many of the European games are going to be able to get and cast for you. I know that we had some really epic games apparently that were played. I think it was Satini, I forgot who was playing, but I guess the game was over an hour long, and there were battle cruisers and ravens and all kinds of things involved in heavy back and forth action, and it is something that I so want to watch. Urgh. So I'm going to definitely try to get a hold of that game and or games and hopefully cast those for you guys. Like I said, they, from what I hear, pretty good. We actually had 2 different streamers on the tournament series. We had a streamer from Germany, and we had myself. He happened to be the one to catch that game, I believe, so I was not able to actually get into the same game as him. Now, in the previous game, we have... actually, I want to touch base on something real quick. A lot of people have commented that, that we, you know... Spanishiwa is getting a lot of attention, really, with the Ice Fisher build. He's, you know, having a lot of victories. And, you know, it's actually, I don't want to say I was glad to see him lose last game, because I wasn't. I'm never glad to see a player lose, because these guys work their butts off. But, yeah, you're right. We have seen a lot of Spanishiwa games where Spanishiwa has actually come out ahead and, you know, taken a solid victory. So, nice little change. It's good every now and then. So I'm looking for, we'll see if Spanishiwa actually adjusts here. Already, we know he is not going with the same build as he did previously. We see he's got the Roach Warren, he already dropped an Evolution Chamber, and the Metabolic Boost upgrade, and now dropping his expansion. You can see right there, losing a Zergling, maybe 2, so close, 1 hit point. Oh, that lucky Zergling getting away. As Spanishiwa is trying to get up there and scout, see what he can find out. You know, maybe he can find some good information. Now, I want to say one more thing before we continue here. I know that a lot of people have actually requested that I continue my Scared in Korea series, and I won't get into the reasons why it's been delayed. I've already kind of touched on that in Facebook. But if you're still looking for that, I have actually started playing over there again, and I've got some pretty decent games. I mentioned on my Facebook that I wanted my second game to be a comparison between games played on the North American server and on the Korean server. So what I've done is I've recorded my placement matches for Season 2, or 2v2s, 3v3s, and 4v4s, and 1v1s, and yeah, so I'm going to pick a good game for that, probably like the 3v3. I think that was probably the most representative of the differences between the two. And I'm going to cast those and explain probably what the players were thinking. And just I've looked, and they're all about the equal in terms of ranking, so I'm looking forward to explaining the thought processes of each of those players and basically just how they differ from server to server. It's always a really interesting thing to analyze. So, without further ado, let's continue on here with Spanishiwa getting ready to bust up the ramp. Plenty of force fields, though. Yep, sure enough, you just look at that sentry with all the energy. Oh, you know that something's crazy is going to go down here, but it looks like another little batch of Zerglings able to come back. You see Spanishiwa is actually trying to force this group of sentries to run back away from the ramp and allow the roaches to come up here, maybe take out the pylon or two, and hopefully, ideally, bust in with the force fields down. But we see with so many sentries here, it's going to be really difficult to pull that off. Now, he is going to be continuing to reinforce with tons of lings. You see he's got one drone only on gas right now, so he is going to be continuing to largely just stick with the Zergling production, which I think is a good idea when you consider the fact that mobility is going to be key in busting through this. He's got to get that one time where he can catch his opponent off guard, and you see he tried again, but the force field's going down super quick. You know, the Protoss player knows what's going on. He's starting to run out of energy, though. You look at that, and you don't see it quite nearly as much as we did in previous moments, but, you know, he does have enough to warp in another one. Oh, but it looks like he's going to get a few units in. A couple of roaches able to do some serious damage, and not until the Protoss player moves away, and now that Zealot is dancing like the awesome kid that he is. Zergling's making a little bit of headway, but not too much. As you see, another force field goes down. Spanishiwa, he's got constant reinforcements, but he just can't get up there. What he really needs right now, would be really funny, is like a Nidus Worm right here, bust into the base. I mean, we've seen the guy use them a million times before, but You know, he doesn't have tier 2. He's just sitting on the hatchery. He's now transitioned back into three drones on the extractor. So I think he definitely knows this isn't quite going to work out the way he intended for it to. Also, with the inclusion of the additional gateway down here and the robotics facility, going to be some observers able to come down there and spot what Spanishiwa is going to be doing here, maybe transitioning into something else. We see he still has not worked on any drones here. We can look at the income and see 18 to 42. So this is definitely something that Spanishiwa is looking to push here in the coming minutes. But look at the crazy antics about to be taking place here. We have a Void Ray getting ready to head down to Spanishiwa's base. There's also a Phoenix here which did some recon info and found out, you know what? Tier 1. It's party time, folks. Not really a whole lot that Spanishiwa can do. He can get some queens down there, that's about it, but the Phoenix can lift it off with the Graviton Beam and take the queen out of the equation. Looks like that is indeed what we are going to be seeing here, as Spanishiwa goes in with hopes that he will be able to maybe finish this off. Nope, looks like he's got a bunch of banelings out there, and they're just going to sit. But certainly Spanishiwa realizes just how much trouble he is in right now, as yes, here we go. Banelings heading up first. The Void Ray is just hurting around the roaches. Oh, I can't help but laugh at that. Tons of force fields going down. That one Baneling stuck in the middle. All the Zerglings are just running up there to their death, folks. Nice wall off with the Stalkers. And there's the GG. Spanishiwa getting knocked out 0-2 against the Protoss player Jianfei Wang, and here in the quarterfinals for SK Champions Trophy Tournament in the month of May. So, Jianfei is going to be marching on to the semifinals. Have a great game lined up for you. Don't know exactly who's going to be playing. Still waiting on that, waiting for the results. But, yeah, it's going to be a great matchup. Again, thank you guys for watching, and be sure to stay tuned. Oh, and if you haven't already, make sure you go subscribe to Husky's second channel, like I mentioned in the previous video, because we're going to have a lot of dual cast stuff there, and you should definitely check out. All right, later.